Because it is good, it is commanded by God. We have similar discussion in Christianity, in Judaism, and in Islam. In Islam, it's very well known as the question of husnuqob. Are husnuqob zati or arazi, and as a result, aqli or shar'i? Some people don't understand the difference between these two, they mix them up. But these are two levels. First is to say husnuqob are zati or arazi. Second is to say are aqli or shar'i. Husnuqob means moral goodness and badness. Zati means essential, means are husn and qob objective, they go back to the essence of the actions, or they are arazi, accidental, means we can give them and take them away. There is nothing inside, for example, justice that makes it good, or inside injustice that makes it bad. It comes from outside. You can inject goodness and badness to the actions. Based on this question, whatever position you take, then we can move on to the next question. Now, is husnuqob something that can be understood by aql or not? If you say that husn and qob are real, are objective, are independent from us, then there is a chance to say that aql can try to understand at least part of it. Not all of it, part of it. But if you say there is no such a thing as goodness or badness in reality, and if it is injected, it is projected by a lawmaker, then we have to ask the lawmaker. Ash'arites had the idea that al-hasanu ma hassanahu shari'. Shari'. Shari' means lawmaker. Shar' means religion, law. Al-Hasan, good, morally good, is what Shar' considers to be good. Al-Qabihu ma qabbahahu Shar' or Shar'. And bad is what Shar' or Shar' says is bad. So, if you ask Ash'arites why we should keep our promises, Ash'arites would say, because God has said to keep your promises. Al-mu'minun 'inda shurutihim awfu bil-'uqud. Otherwise, we were not able to understand, and according to some Ash'arites, actually there was nothing to understand. Because there are two interpretations or major interpretations for the position of Ash'arites. One interpretation is that Ash'arite didn't deny reality of morality, but they wanted to say we cannot understand, we need help of Shari'. But there is a more famous interpretation which says not only we cannot understand, there is nothing to understand. It is Shari' who gives goodness and badness. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala could have told us, don't keep your promises. Don't be kind. But he didn't say that. He said, be kind and keep your promises. According to them, there is nothing wrong in thinking the other way. It just has happened that he has chosen this type of moral instructions and we go by them. There is nothing in reality as adl or dhulm. What is adl? Whatever God says, it is adl. So if your definition of justice is what is commanded by God, then whatever God commands would be just by definition. So there is no problem in God asking something else. But Mu'tazilites, the Shiites, and some Hanafites, they had this idea that goodness and badness are real. Whether you believe in religion or you don't believe in religion, there is akhlaq, there is morality. Actually, as we discussed in Aqaid, in Baba Hadi Ash, for example, we had this discussion. We said, if we don't believe in akhlaq, in morality prior to religion, we are not able to prove religion. Because one may say, okay, God has sent for example, his word, his book, to a liar, to deceive us. What is wrong with that? If you say, I don't believe in independent understanding of akhlaq, so you cannot prove this would not happen. You can maximum say, this is wrong because it is against what is in the book. Okay, that book can be, na'udhu billah, a lie, or mixture of lies and truth. You have to rationally prove that God, who is perfect, would not tell lies, would not want to deceive us. So it means that before coming to religion, you should believe in some moral sense for humanity. Okay? Therefore we said in Bab Hadi Ash and in Sharh Tajreed, if Husn Qubh Aqli is denied, Husn Qubh Shar'i will also be rejected. There would be no chance for someone to defend Husn Qubh Shar'i, because you cannot prove religion. So the Shiites, the Mu'tazilites, which are called Al-Adliyah, the people of justice, they had the idea, yes. Yeah, we are moving to number 5, but still I am talking about number 4. I am saying the opposite view. The Shiites and the Mu'tazilites had the idea that morality is not based on just agreement or contract or decision. And morality is not based on divine command. Okay, morality has some objectivity, has some reality. You know, if you read the books of Mu'tazilite and Ash'arite, you find this debate very much. That Ash'arites, they say, if we say God asks us to do good things, this means that we are limiting God. If we say that something which is good can be commanded by God and something which is bad cannot be commanded by God, according to them, means that you are making God subordinate to akhlaq. It's a problem. Mu'tazilites and Shiites argue the other way. They say if you say God can make decisions without observing goodness and badness, you are making decisions of God arbitrary. So you are making God unwise, na'udhu billah. He just, na'udhu billah, arbitrarily says, do this, don't do that. He could have said something else. We believe that God observes real interest and harm. If you remember in Usul al-Fiqh, we had this discussion. Al-Ahkam tabi'atun lil-masalih wal-mafasid al-waqi'iyah. Even in Sharia, let alone akhlaq, even in Sharia, in fiqh, everything is based on reason. If something is wajib or mustahab, it's because there is maslaha in it. Either maslaha is so much which is mulzima, compelling, or maslaha is there, but even without that we can do it and we can also, without doing it, we can have perfection. This is mustahab, غير الملزم. Mafsada is also sometimes too much, blocks the way for perfection, makes it haram. What we call this maslaha, mafsada? Who remembers from usul al-fiqh? Al-mafsada, which blocks the way for perfection. We said maslaha is mulzima or غير الملزمة. Mafsada is, no, mafsada can never be mulzima. Mufawwita. Mufawwita or غير المفوتة. Mufawwita means makes perfection yafut, means goes away. You miss the perfection. Mufawwit is opposite to mulzim. Mulzim means compelling. This means damages. Okay? Fata yafuto. This is tafwid. Baba taf'il is muta'addi. Yeah? Fata yafuto is lazim. Mufawwit. Yes.
How did the Ash'arite answer? Because in the Quran it's often asked in Fala Yafumun.
Yes.
How many times it says you might use your brains? What would the Ash'arite answer to that?
According to Ash'arites, you do ta'aqul in, for example, something about reasons for religion, and then you do ta'aqul for understanding the text, not more than that. So you do ta'aqul to understand the Ash'ari view.
It does make sense.
Yeah. So, the debates between Ash'arites on the one hand and Adliya on the other hand was a matter of whether we defend God's wisdom according to Ahlul Adl and justice, because it also very much connects to the issue of justice. Because if we say we cannot understand and it is God who says what is good, what is bad, then if it is arbitrary, why people should be sent to hell for something which is arbitrary? Okay? So, one side tries to defend wisdom and justice of God. The other side, which is Ash'arite, they try to protect, in their view, the power and sovereignty of God. But we say, with all respect to our brothers, Ash'arite brothers, that you are not making any service to God by projecting Him as a very powerful dictator. As a person who is very powerful, no one can question his decisions, and his decisions are arbitrary.
Almost a tyrant.
Pardon?
Almost a tyrant.
Yes. There must be a maslaha. We believe whatever God tells us, this is a very important question, we discussed this in Aqaid. Whatever God the Almighty tells us to do or not to do are based on real facts, and if we had knowledge, I and you would have come to the same conclusion. Because God is aql kul, is the perfect aql, and He has given us little aql. If our aql was perfect, if we had all the information that He has, we would have come to the same conclusion. Right now, to a certain extent, we understand. Yeah, many principles of akhlaq we understand by ourselves, and religion, God just confirmed. Be kind to your parents, be kind to your children, look after the elderly people, the needy people, the poor people, keep your promise, be generous, not be selfish. We all understand. Yes, when details come, when conflicts come, we need guidance. But guidance is different from dictation, imposition. God is a teacher. يُعَلِّمُكُم مَا لَمْ تَكُونُوا تَعْلَمُونَ. He teaches you what you were not able to understand. God is not, na'uzu billah, a dictator. So if me and you had access to the facts that God knows, we would have made the same conclusion. This is why our ulama say, remember this, they say, الواجبات العقلية ألطاف في الواجبات الشرعية. They say the religious, الواجبات الشرعية ألطاف في الواجبات العقلية. Religious obligations, religious commands are indeed lutf, are favors for us to understand intellectual obligations. Sharia is just helping us to find the answer. He's not giving arbitrary answers. الواجبات الشرعية ألطاف في الواجبات العقلية. Or as we had in M2U00017, that أحكام مولوي indeed are إرشاد إلى حكم العقل. They show us what is the judgment of act.
Can I ask a question, please?
Yes.
You said in philosophy that the first thing God made is action, which is a simple thing. So action was made before everything.
That's aql is different from our aql.
It's different. So what was that?
That means independent being which is immaterial and it's perfect and it is free from any potentiality. In discussion about husn qub, our ulama, as you know, make different meanings of, a list of different meanings of goodness and badness, and they say some of them are not questioned by Ash'arite or Mu'tazilite, they agree. Like, for example, goodness and badness in the sense of perfection, in the sense of serving purpose, in the sense of being pleasant or unpleasant. These are not questioned by Ash'arites. Even Ash'arites accept that these can be understood by aql. For example, is this knife good or bad in the sense of serving our purpose? Ash'arites accept we don't need religion to tell us this knife is good or bad. Is this ice cream delicious or not? Goodness in this sense. Again, we understand by our own senses. What was controversial was the meaning of moral goodness in the sense of something which is praised, or moral badness in the sense of something which is blamed. Okay? Ash'arite said this is not understood by us, but Mu'tazilite and Shia say it's understood by us in this sense. Means we can understand what action is praiseworthy, what action is blameworthy. Okay. Let's go to the fifth view. If I want to connect this to the fourth view, I can say it in this way. Opposite to the view of Ash'arites is that husn qub is zati, it's real, it's objective. But this can be understood in two ways. When it is real, you tell me, how can something be real? What type of concepts are real? Pardon? Okay. There are two ways that a concept can be real. One is to be ma'qul ula, one is to be ma'qul saniya falsafi. Okay? The first theory was like more by saying that it is مفهوم ماهوی, معقول أولى. So, if you are a Mu'tazili or Shia, you can say something like that, but it's not necessary. There is another option that we prefer, is the fifth view, and to say that moral goodness and badness are real, are objective, but not independently existing outside. It's not like color, it's not like shape, size. It is something that أروزه في الذهن واتصافه في الخارج. It's a property, it's a quality that mind can discover, but it's about outside. What was the example? For معقول ثانية فلسفي, secondary philosophical intelligible, causality. Fire is burning the wood. Fire is the cause for burning. But do we have outside anything independent from fire and wood which we can call causality? Or causality is what our mind takes out from this relation. It's real, it's not false, it's not contract. Because really fire does burn. It's real, but at the same time it is not mahubi, it is saniya falsafi. Or like imkan. Imkan is there for any mahiya, there is imkan, but is imkan independent? No. So, if you are using Arabic text, you find this, in philosophy very much they say, for mafahim mahuvi, there is ma bihil iza fil kharij. Means there is something outside, independent, that this refers to it, for mahuvi. But for ma'qulat al-saniya falsafi, there is no ma bi iza khariji. There is mansha'i intiza. Mansha'ul intiza means there is something outside from which your mind can abstract this concept. If something is a square or circle, this is outside. A square and circle is outside, and we understand them, but they are independently there. But when we say something is mumkin, or a figure is zawj, or fard is even or odd, or something is cause or ma'lul, something is above or under, something is before or after, all these are mafahim falsafi. Means they apply to things which are outside. They describe things which are outside. Ittisaf is fil kharij, but these concepts are all in mind. They don't have any independence. So, according to the view that we accept, moral goodness and moral badness are real and objective, but not independently exist. They are ma'qul thaniya falsafi, secondary philosophical intelligible. So, how something becomes good? You tell me. Why some action is considered to be morally good? Use the concept of causality. Use what we said last week about ought and ought not.
It has good results.
If an action leads to the result that we want, we say this is good. What do you want in akhlaq? This is what you define it outside akhlaq. Yes? Your moral ideal has to be decided in your worldview, ideology, whatever it is. Whatever you want to achieve. For example, you want perfection, you want nearness to God, you want welfare, you want, I don't know, whatever, fame, you want power, whatever you want. If an action is the cause for that thing that you want, or in other words, it has a positive relation, it contributes to having that, it becomes morally good. If it has negative relation, means it takes you away from that or blocks the way for that ideal, it becomes bad. If it has no effect, become neutral. Okay? Yeah. Like for example, drinking water as such is not neither morally good nor morally bad as such. Unless you drink water for getting energy to serve, then it becomes morally good. Then we have a discussion about why there are moral differences in the world. Why there are so many moral disagreements. Sometimes the same thing is by some people considered to be good, by some people is considered to be bad. According to the fifth view, when we say morality is a real thing, but real not in the way that G.E. Moore is saying, real in the sense that we say, means معقول ثانية فلسفي, not ماهوي. We say the reason for moral disagreements is mainly one of the two. Either people have not understood what could be a good ideal. What is the perfection? Many times people don't agree on what is good or bad because they don't have the same ideal. Yeah? For example, abortion is good or bad? If you think about only worldly pleasure and being comfortable and relaxed and free, then you can say, okay, this woman doesn't want this baby, so let her relax. Because the only thing which counts is worldly pleasure. But if you are thinking about our responsibility towards God, about our responsibility towards humanity, value of human life, even a child has value, even embryo has value, then the situation would be different. So, what is your moral ideal is very important. It makes lots of differences. And the second source for problems is people may disagree about what would lead to that perfection. So what is perfection is different among different people, and what leads to that perfection also can be different. Sometimes maybe people agree, but they disagree about methods and means of reaching perfection. For example, they say we need order in the society, but sometimes they think order happens by force. Some people say order happens by education, by formation, not by force. So, morality is based on reality, but don't be surprised that there are disagreements. Because there are many things which are real and people still disagree. Yeah? Even about science, there are lots of disagreements. In the past, people used to think that, for example, world is flat and the earth is center. Now they disagree. Now, there are many things, like for example, economics. It's a real thing, but people disagree. Psychology, people disagree. According to some thinkers, they said something nice. Inshallah, if we get a chance to talk about ethical relativism, we can discuss this further. This very beautiful point I want to mention. Are you here? So, some people say because there are disagreements which are fundamental, so there is no one single truth. some moral philosophers have replied something very beautiful. They said, who said that if there is single true morality, there must be consensus about it? So that now there is no consensus, you say there is no single true morality or no single truth. Who said